Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where we're going to talk about how you get grants for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. So as you come in, say hello to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I am in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. Give that city and that state a shout out as you come in and let me know who is here with me. Hello, Carlawa. Is it Carlawa? Where are you coming in from? And Trey, where are you coming in from? Jacqueline is coming in from Brooklyn, New York, and Todd from Milwaukee. And Trey is coming in from Northern New Jersey. And Beverly from Vicksburg, Mississippi is up in the house. Hello, Jackie from Monroe, Louisiana. So make sure you give that city and that state a shout out. I am in the land. Hello, Bridget from, is it Charlie, North Carolina? And Tanya from the Big D, Detroit, our neighbors just to the northwest. Who else is here with me today? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Say hello as you come in. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your hostess for this afternoon, where we are going to talk about grants and grant writing for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. And we are going to get started because I have a lot of information to share. And I know some of you are on a bit of a time schedule here. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen, and you will see my 30-second TV commercial, which will just give you some information about me and my background and what I'm able to do and how I'm able to help you. But as I always say, when I hit this share screen button, because we are live, it's like, oh, come on through, technology. Come through, come through. It is looking good. All right.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We work with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
All right. So that's just a little information about me. Let me make sure everybody's in the right place. So this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits. And yes, we are live. This is our noon session. I have another session tonight at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to drop that link in just a little bit later, just in case you know someone who wants to join us. Now, my background, yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in grants and business development. This is year 16 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I've been a professional grant writer. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And yes, I provide grant writing workshops all over the country for many different organizations. Just finished a webinar yesterday, as a matter of fact, for Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of their Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And I am also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. Now, yes, I have a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So let me know who's here with me today. Into the chat. Let me know, are you a small business, meaning you are a for-profit, or are you a nonprofit, or maybe you're both? Because I'm finding that a lot of for-profits are starting nonprofits. So maybe you are both. Yes, everything is being recorded. I'll get to that in just a moment. Small business. Yes, 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 yes. Nonprofit. Okay. Freelance grant writer. Oh, this session is definitely going to help you. Yes, both nonprofit and for-profit. Small business wanting to start a nonprofit. Small hair wig business. All right, so just so you know, you're in the right place. There are grants for both. And I know this may sound new to some of you because When you thought about a grant, what did you think about? A nonprofit. But yes, there are grants for small businesses. Yes, so you are in the right place. Absolutely. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania, and I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland. Literally came home in a wheelchair. Took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job because my experience was in publishing. And as you can imagine, Cleveland, Ohio is like not the publishing mecca of the United States. So that's when I started my company, LaPav Consulting, and it's been 16 years and I have not looked back. Well, one of my first contracted positions was to be this executive director of a nonprofit. And I don't think I was there, but maybe a couple of weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and asked to write a grant that would save my job. It would literally pay for my salary and save my job and help save the organization. And look, people, we're all family here today. You know that there are times when people who look like us are called in to save the program, save the project, sometimes even save the entire organization. And if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. All right. But you know what? I did it. And I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants, right? But I was able to research and I was able to write that grant and I saved my job and I saved that organization. And I had no experience at that time. So yes, it's possible to write and win grants with no experience. And I learned at that time that there's this amazing connection between grants and being able to truly fund your organization, right? Oh, yes, I'm seeing some yeses. You know what I mean, people. You know what I mean. Yes, we save the day and the company, don't we? Absolutely. So that connection is amazing, right? This is free money coming from other organizations that you can use to fund your project or your company. We will talk more about that later. Now, what will we cover in this class? Why this class is even important, first of all, but some keys to funding. I will share some grant basics with you. We will talk about how do you prepare to apply for grants, but what do you write in that application? How do you write that application so that you are going to get noticed in a sea of applications? And then how do you conduct grant research that is going to attract organizations that want to give you funding as a Black organization? And then don't go anywhere because I have a list of available grants for you. I have a bonus surprise, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end. And speaking of Q&A, this is not the time to be shy, people. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert and a grants instructor questions about grants. So drop them into the chat or the Q&A, one or the other, because I will cover them both at the end, right? So let me just say to all of you, I am here to help you, right? I am here to help you. Therefore, you're going to get a copy of this replay and you will get it tonight. I do not charge on my replays because I'm here to help you. So you will get a copy of this replay tonight. It will be free and you will have it forever, right? I don't put some expiration date, right, on my replays, right? I'm trying to get you, right, into a place where you can start writing and winning grants. So you'll have the replay, you'll have it tonight, you'll have it forever, it will be free. All right, it's time to rock and roll. All right, so why is this class even important? Because look, we as Black leaders, we need access to funding. And it shouldn't always be about loans, right? We want grant funding because grant funding is free to us, right? And let me say this to all of you, you can write grants, right? This does not have to be scary. Grant writing is different than it used to be. You're not sitting in some corner writing some 500-page document for 3 months on end. I know because that's what I used to do. And some grant applications are 2 and 3 pages. Like you can do this, but you must know there's a process. This is about more than you just answering some questions and sending off an application. That's a quick way to get a rejection letter. So after having won $17 million, I know that there's a process. And that is part of what we will talk about today. All right. Now, why is there so much money available? One, COVID-19. When it happened, small businesses went under. And then your major corporations that have foundations, they stepped in and said, we have to help save small businesses. So they started to create grants earmarked for small businesses, right? Now, look, we know that there have always been money for nonprofits. So that money has always been there. The small businesses, this is new. Now, how does this pertain to you and me? That was a George Floyd incident when George Floyd was murdered. Corporations with foundations and organizations said we have to do something to address racial injustice in this country. So what did they do? They used what was readily available, money, cash, and started to create pools of grant funding earmarked for Black organizations and Black-led nonprofits that served Black communities. So despite what you may be seeing on TV, there's plenty of grant money available, plenty of grant money available across industries, including diversity, equity, and inclusion. So no, that's not a bad word, right? The money is available, as you will see. So you're absolutely in the right place to learn how to get it. All right. Now, I'm going to show you some grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. All right. Now, let me just get that out of the way, regardless of what you're seeing on social media. Grants are not paid back. Now, for the next minute, I'm only talking to you nonprofits. Get your 501c3. That is crucial. Even if you are a church, even if you are a school, you still need your 501c3 because nonprofits are mandated by their board of directors, like the foundations and nonprofit foundations, they're mandated by their boards that they can only give their grant money to nonprofits with a 501c3. The good news for you is that it used to take about 6 months for your application to be processed. Now it's only taking about 8 weeks. So get your 501c3 nonprofits. All right. So from this point forward, I'm talking to everybody. Oh, especially with this next slide. And you want to see this slide. Look at this. U.S. grant annual funding. People don't ever let anybody tell you there's no money available. This is foundation and corporation and bequest giving 1 year. 1 year. $189 billion, billion would it be, right? 1 year. And if you throw in individual giving, now you're up to $455 billion, right? 1 year. I want you to think about that number and what you might be able to do with that number. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Know that there's money available because at the end of the day, all you need is a little bit, right? You don't need the $189 billion. You just need a little bit, you know, like your share, right? So right now, everybody, think about this number and into the chat. I want everybody to put, I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit. You just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? Just a little bit. That's Jacqueline says, I just need a sliver. All right. She doesn't even need a slice. She just needs a sliver, right? Tanya says, I just need my portion. We're not trying to be greedy, Beverly, right? Do you need all of the money, Kalawa? Dolores, do you need all $189 billion? That's right, Jackie. Just some. Just some. Todd says, I know exactly how much I need. $250,000 to $300,000. Claim it. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Bridget says a corner. She just needs a corner. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Because I don't want you to think that, oh, there's no money available. We've been through COVID. No, I will take the crumbs. I will take the crumbs that fall from $189 billion. So I'm here to show you how to get it. All right. But first, they call me the grants queen. So I have to give you nice cups of tea. And the first cup is called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in this chat right now. What is it? It is a free, people, this is important. It is a free software editing tool. You download it onto your computer. You use it when you write Word, right? In your Word applications, your Excel applications, emails, right? Why is this important? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. No, it's not necessary. Not when you have a free program like Grammarly, right? I am a professional editor and grant writer and writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. Now I have the pro version, but you don't need the pro version, right? It's free. Oh, Karwala says yes, she loves Grammarly. Tanya loves Grammarly. Jacqueline says, I am Grammarly. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, right? So if you haven't downloaded it, people download it. One of my services is that I get paid to review applications, review grant applications. People, please, I'm begging you. Look, I'm at the point I'm begging people. Download Grammarly. It's free. I get, it's not an affiliate. I get no commission or anything. I just know if I need it, you need it. Everybody needs it, right? Because it will help make you a better writer. Courtesy of a Grammarly, download this article, improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. All right? Will help make you a better writer. Now, what are we doing here? We are preparing to apply for grants. I want you to be grant ready. Get your EIN, that's your employer identification number, nonprofits, your 501c3. Now, you may or may not need a business license or a state certification based on what state you live in. I'm in Ohio. I have a business. I am required to have a business license. So you need to check with your Secretary of State. All right. Find out whether or not you need a business license, especially if you are a for-profit. All right. Now, nonprofits, you know, it is mandated that you have a board of directors. So you need a list of your board members. If you are a for-profit, it's not mandated, but if you have a board, get your list together, right? I give webinars sometimes on nonprofits and boards, and you know your board cannot consist of all family and friends, right? But I digress. That's another subject. Get your list together. Get a list of your staff. All of you, letters of support. Let the foundations know that there are other organizations that support you. Where are they coming from? It could be your vendors, community leaders, your pastor, your church, politicians, the mayor, if you know them, right? Now, if you are currently operating, you need your financial statement. That's going to include your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. Now, if you have not even opened, or if you have opened, all of you need a current operating budget. Why is this important if you have not yet opened? Because at the end of the day, you must know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to operate over the course of a year. And when you create that budget, you're going to see some funding gaps. And it is within those gaps that are great places for you to apply for grant money. So all of you, you must create this operating budget because you must have an idea. And it's okay if it's an estimate, but you must have some idea. How much money is it going to take for me, right, to operate, to pull this off, right, over the course of a year? All right, good. All right, now we're going to go through the typical components of a grant application, and I'm going to give you best practices, right? All right. Yes, AI is now attached to Grammarly. Grammarly now uses AI, which makes it even better. Now, the first section that you're going to see is the summary abstract, but do not be fooled. You always write this section last because what I want you to do is complete your grant application, go through it, pull out the most important components and dump them into the summary because that summary is the first opportunity for that foundation to read about who you are and what you do and what you're asking for. So it has to be stellar, right? So wait until you finish the grant application, go through, pull out all of the gems, right? And place those into the summary abstract. Now, mission, this is critical, people. All of you need a mission. And I get asked a lot, I'm a for-profit, Linda, do I need a mission? Absolutely, you need a mission because the mission defines who you are, what you're doing, your aims and your goals. And guess what? It will align you to the foundation that's going to give you money. Because if you are, for example, laser focused on K through 12 education, you need to be aligning with the foundation that also has a passion for education, right? So if you don't have your mission statement, that's homework 101 for some of you, all right? So write that mission. Now, the history section, just don't ever, ever, ever leave this blank, even if you are a startup. Because if you are just starting, Maybe you haven't even opened yet. I want you to think about, why are you starting? What was the catalyst or the impetus for you even starting your organization? Because all of those experiences, right, lead to its history. It's part of the organization's history. So never leave that blank. Now, the next section is leadership. That is your C, could be your CMO, your COO, your executive director, but always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. Now, this next section, this is where you set your organization apart from everybody else's on that grant application. Because I want you to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And you must use real numbers. This is where keeping track of your progress is critical. If you have a homeless ministry, for example, how many homeless people have you placed in shelters over the course of a year? You have an online coaching business. Maybe you have an LLC, right? And you coach in the area of career development. How many people have you led to their future careers? And let's say you haven't even opened yet. Now you're going to be talking about what you hope your impact will be, right? So maybe you want to open up a tutoring organization for after school students, middle school, right? Now you can say, I hope the impact of my program is that I will be able to help students increase their reading proficiency levels by 2%, right? So impact using real numbers. Got it? All right. Now, this next section, this is where I think many of you, especially you for-profits, will have to rethink how you see your organization, because this application must be written as if you are resolving an issue or addressing a problem. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you have a project or a program or a service-based organization. This is how you must write this application. Now, I want to give you an example of a bakery, for-profit bakery, right? Sole proprietor wants to open in a downtown location. She needs a $20,000 grant. Now, you might be thinking, like, what issue is she resolving? She's making what? Red velvet cake all day, right? Well, maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans really don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. Or maybe she's looking at the economic development of that area, right? There's been many other failed businesses and she wants to be the difference. Or maybe she's looking at her customer base, right? The surrounding businesses, they haven't had a great bakery in years to use as a catering service, right? So it doesn't matter what you do, you have to write as if you are addressing an issue, because whatever that issue is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you funding, because guess what? They're providing grant money for organizations serving the same area of interest that they have. Now, how do you find out where and how foundations give, who they give to, where they give? You go to their website. It's all there. But the issue is 90% of foundations do not have a website. That's where you have to get creative, right? And how you get their information. Now, this area here is where some of you really, really struggle. Target population. Over the 16 years that I've been consulting, I ask organizations, who are you helping? And too often I help everybody. I help anybody that comes my way. Like, if you come to me, I'm going to help you, right? You can help everybody. You cannot help everybody. This is such a struggle for many of you, especially entrepreneurs, right? Because you have 1,000 ideas and you just want to add it on, add. I want to help everybody. You can't do it. This is how you get burnt out. This is year 16 for me, owning my own business. This is how you get burnt out. Who are you help? Who would best be served by your organization? You should have one, maybe two target populations, because foundations give according to a target population. So you must define yours. Is it homeless population, people who've aged out of foster care, low income? One, maybe two target populations. All right. So think about this. Think about your one or two. And if you want to, you can drop it into the chat. At the end of the day, be excited about writing these grants. It's an opportunity for you to finally tell somebody your story and information about your organization. You should be excited. right? Because this application is an opportunity for you to showcase how you've changed lives, or whatever the outcome has been that you've been achieving, right? And there's no better way to show impact than using video. Real examples, testimonials, case studies. Ask your client to pick up their cell phone and talk into it for 30 seconds and put that testimonial on the homepage of your website. And yes, foundations go to your website. And if you have not yet opened, you can still use video because now you're showcasing the issue or the problem that you want to address using real examples or case studies. All right. So this does not have to be expensive. If you want to do a compilation video, 2 to 3 minutes max, right? Absolutely. Yeah, some of you, yes. Be more specific though. Some of you need to be more specific. I will address some of these when we get to the Q&A, because some of you need to niche down, right? There's an old saying, there's riches and niche down. Some of your categories are too broad. We'll talk about that later. All right, so the question is, do you want operating grant money or program project grant money? Now, look, we love operating grant money. When you ask for a general operating support grant, it's to help you shore up your infrastructure, right? Your administrative fees and costs, right? And we love it because you get to decide where to put the money. IT, your lease, salaries, staff, right? But only about 32% of foundations give general operating support. Most grants need to be applied to a particular program or project of your organization. Here's another super important takeaway. All of you, please listen to me clearly. You must apply to multiple foundations, even if it's for the same exact need. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Multiple foundations. Why? Because grants are not guaranteed. Please, people, don't let anybody be whispering in your ear, telling you, oh, I can get you grant money. I can get you guaranteed grant money. It pains me because at this point, I'm hearing horror stories every single day. I'm not kidding about that, about people being scammed because somebody said they could guarantee them some grant money and they gave them their money, right? And then the person disappeared, right? Or didn't write one single grant. Please be careful. You must apply to multiple foundations. If somebody is telling you that they can give you some guaranteed grant money, I want you to do one of those military turns, those about faces, and run in the other direction because you're about to be scammed. So people, please be careful. All right. So when you are writing about your project or your service, talk about why you've been successful. Is it something new for you? Why will you be successful? And why is there a need for it? And why is it that you are the organization to address that need? All right. Next, I cannot possibly overstate the importance of community partnerships. You're going to get this question on the grant application, and you need to be able to answer it because this will do two things. One, it will strengthen your grant application. You need to be connecting with partners in your community. Like you can't do this alone. And I'm not talking about paid partnerships. There are many ways you can partner with organizations. I'll give you one example. Let's say you have an accounting firm. 1 hour every month, you give a tax talk at your local library. And I think libraries are criminally underutilized. I am currently doing a tour through my county library system, right? They're going to promote you because that's what they do, right? Which does what? Reason number 2, it increases your level of visibility. Some of you have phenomenal programs. Nobody knows about the program. Nobody even knows about you, even in your own community. That's why by connecting with well-respected organizations in your community, you get a little bit of their shine. They're already well-known. But by working with them and connecting with them, you get to raise your level of visibility because you'd be surprised how the foundations in every community are looking and searching for organizations to fund, right? So homework for all of you. I want you to name five organizations in your community that you can partner with in some way, right? Name 5. And if you're wondering about those 5, then you can certainly ask a question in the chat, but homework for you, name 5. All right. Now, Also, keep in mind, you must determine your goals. You're asking for free grant money. What do you want the outcome to be? What do you want to happen if this foundation gives you their grant money? But they have to be SMART goals, right? So let's say I have a literacy program and I write, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland, right? Through my literacy program. That's a goal, but it's not a SMART goal. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. This would be a SMART goal. I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. Into the chat, everybody. What did I do? How did I change that goal into a SMART goal? Into the chat. Into the chat. I was more specific, Beverly. What else did I do? I was more specific, Dolores. What else did I do? What else did I do? What else did I do to create that SMART goal? What else did I do? Anybody? I gave a time frame. Yes, I made it more specific. More specific. Anyone else? Anyone else? I started to say like Bueller, Ferris Bueller, one of my all-time favorite movies, but I digress. Beverly, got it. Yes. I made it measurable. I made it measurable. What did I do? I added metrics, 5% Cleveland, Hispanic children under the age of 5, 5-year time frame. Anytime you want to change a goal into a SMART goal, you add data and stats. Now we're on to the grant budget. This is where you are going to indicate how you want to spend the grant money, and you must itemize these expenses. Let's say you want $50,000 to hire an executive director. You can't write just, I need 50 grand for an ED. No, be specific. Is it a contracted executive director? If so, what is the hourly rate? How many hours will they be working a week? How many weeks out of the year? You want to buy supplies? What are they for? How many do you need? How much do they cost, each one? And what is the total amount? The explanation of how you're going to be using the grant money goes into the budget narrative. The numbers go into a budget, which is typically an Excel file. Got that? Itemize those expenses and be specific. Now, I know some of you are like, Linda, oh my goodness, this is good. This sounds good. But I don't have time for this. There's no way I have time to write grants. Like I don't have time to write these grants. Remember I said at the beginning that some grants are 2 and 3 pages, right? So I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get free money? Let me see in the chat. Let me see if anybody on here. Oh, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes, I have time to get free money. I'm saying absolutely. I'm saying 100, I have time to get free money. I'm saying yes, please. Yes, please, I have time to get free money. I'm saying let's get it. Okay, so if you have time to get the free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money, which means you're going to have to build some relationships. Yes, you are. Now, this is the slide here. Like if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is as important as anything you will ever write in a grant application. You need to meet with the foundation first. Yes, you need to build this relationship. And we're talking about a 30-minute Zoom meeting. You want to meet with them because you're trying to get their grant funding. And they want to meet with you. They're considering giving you their grant money. And guess what? In that meeting, you're going to get information typically about that grant that is not on their website because you're in front of them building a relationship. And typically, these are literally 30-minute Zoom meetings. Now, if you live within close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. I've probably set up 1,000 of these. One that always comes to mind, a 30-minute Zoom meeting, client got $30,000 because the mission's aligned, right? And it's okay if they don't want to meet with you. That's rare, but it does happen. But typically, they want to meet with you. They want to get to know you and your organization. And you can speak passionately about what you do, right? So yes, you need to set up this meeting because oftentimes this makes a difference as to whether or not you get the grant funding. I've been in those foundation leaders meetings. I've heard them say, you want to get funding from us and you haven't called us, you haven't connected, you haven't written us, you haven't emailed. So you need to do this. Now, how do you do this? You're going to send an email introducing yourself. In that email, you are describing your organization. You are talking about who you fund and how you fund them. You are aligning your mission to the mission of that foundation or that organization. You are not asking for money. You are not asking for money in this email. That is one of the quickest ways to get a rejection letter. You're asking for a meeting. And you just need to send this email to a real person at that foundation at a real email address, not some generic info with foundation. No, real email address. And this is how you get that real email address. First, you need to get their name. You get their name. And to get the email, look, I've been giving you tea, right, all afternoon. This is Teapot, people. This is the Teapot. Getemail.io. It will give you the email address of almost anybody around the world. Oh my gosh, I use it literally all the time. Not just here in the United States, but my colleagues in Italy and Germany, you name it. And guess what? They give you 10 emails for free. So use your emails and send this letter to the foundation, a real email address to a real person so that you can set up your meeting. All right. Now it's time to find the money grant research. Now, the Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the US. Now, keep in mind, they give you information about the organization, not a grant. So if you have a program in Iowa where you are serving a veterans population, right, that are disabled, you want to provide transitional housing, you input that information in FDO and they will give you a list, right? You're in Detroit, you want to open up a daycare center, right? You input that information into FDO, they will give you a list of organizations that provide such grants. Now, FDO is subscription-based, or $50 every month, or you can go to your local library and get totally free access. Now, grants.gov, that's the source for federal grants. That's a free site. Lilly Foundation, if I have any churches with me, faith-based organizations, yes, you can get grant money. Lilly Foundation is the largest. I know about a grant right now that funds worship programs, right? Grantwatch.com, I love because they give you the actual grant opening. So they give you the synopsis of the grant, the link to the grant application, information about the sponsor of the grant, the deadline, the contact information, name, email, address, telephone number. $20 a week, get you a list of grants. Grant Station, $200 for the entire year, right? But they give you also information about the grants and free training. Urban Awareness USA, they are Black owned, so support them and they are free. They give you free training. They drop information on about 5 new grants a week. Tell them Linda Peavy sent you. Get that free newsletter from them. All right, now I'm going to show you quickly how to conduct this grant research. This happens to be Grant Station, right? They're $200 for the whole year. Look to my right areas of interest. What is yours? Now, for every box you see, there's like 10 to 15 drop-down boxes. So you can get super specific, right? What is your area, right? And the next target populations, who do you serve? Veterans, homeless? Let me say something to you about geographical locations, because I do believe that many of you are just leaving money on the table. You're just leaving money on the table because you haven't started locally. Start locally. It's easier to get local grant funding. Please don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. I received those kind of grants before. They're difficult, right? They're difficult to get, difficult to write, and typically you need a partner. It's easier to get your local grants. right? But don't disregard the national grant makers. Just because a grant maker is located in Texas doesn't mean they're not giving money to you and you're in what, Illinois, right? So do both, local and national. For my international friends, yes, this is absolutely for you. I have several international customers, right? And clients. Just because you live in the US, you may serve a population in Africa. You can still search for grants. You can live in Africa and have a program in Africa and search for grants, because keep in mind, look in the middle there. A lot of these funders are global grant makers. These are conglomerates, especially the corporations, right? They serve all over the world. So yes, this is for you too. But you input your information in there, get you a list of grants. All right, now, I said I had a list for you. Now, this is important because anytime you encounter a link where the grant has passed, you always get on their email list, because many of these organizations have multiple grant openings per year. And if not, you want to know when that next grant opening is going to occur. Aunt Jemima, we know that name, right? Well, they changed their branding name to Pearl Milling Company, and now they have a phenomenal grant program where they give to organizations that serve Black women and Black girls. That one will reopen next year. You have a Black nonprofit, go to that website for a list of grants. You have a beauty product, a beauty brand, any type of beauty brand, L'Oreal and the NAACP. That round 3 will probably open early next year. Do you have a brick and mortar, like a physical location? That Main Street grant opens up every single year. LISC, they've given away $9 billion since 1979. They've given away that amount of money, and they are laser focused on Black-owned small businesses. And they're amazing, but they're not located in every state. I know they're in Georgia and Ohio. They're in maybe about 5 or 6 states around the country. Oh, look them up. If they're in your state, oh, you need to be meeting with them. You talk about an endowment. All right. Shea Moisture. Someone said something about a wig company, or if you have a hair salon, anything in like the beauty, right, hair care industry, that grant may still be open right now. That grant opens a couple of times a year. I won't go through all of these. If you're a filmmaker, you create films about the Black experience. Ford Foundation, one of the largest foundations in the world, right? Amarillo. Okay, so you may say to me, Linda, I'm too small for this. I'm too small. I'm teeny tiny. It doesn't matter. Organizations like Amarillo, that's all they do is give to small organizations. Or you might say, I don't have some huge organizational chart. I don't even have a paid staff, Linda. You don't need a paid staff. You know what you need? Impact. Yes, all volunteer organizations get grant money, right? Mustard Seed, therefore, faith-based organizations. I talked about the Lilly Foundation. Maybe you are a startup. You're just starting out, right? Busy and Sky's the Limit. They both offer grants for startups. And yes, oftentimes ideas are funded. Look at SBIR. They're all about research and development. You're trying to invent a product, SBIR, that's a government grant, and they really try to focus on Black populations that are creating products. All of you, when we're done, homework, just Google local community foundation near me. Something will pop up because there's one in almost every community across the country, and meet with them. Now, I know I have a lot of women on here with me. This slide is for you really quickly. Hello, Alice, right now, sign up. They're free. They give a lot of information on grants for women-owned businesses. DoorDash restaurant, they have a grant. Pepco Food Options, that one's in DC. There's a tech accelerator. So if you're in technology, just always know when there's a grant that is released from Hello Alice by signing up. I won't go through all of these. Cartier, they have a grant. Amber Grants for Women to give away $30,000 every single month. And $10,000 is always earmarked to a theme. Right now, their theme is the creative arts. So if you are in any way involved in arts and culture, that grant is for you. You want an investor, 37 Angels. Tory Burch, the famous designer, she has a phenomenal program. especially for women of color. All right, now, all of you into the chat. What is like the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money, banks and money, banks and money. Thank you, everybody. Banks and money, banks and money. Loans, right? They make it complicated. Ah, and no thanks, Jacqueline. And no thanks, rejection. Hard to get money from. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money in the United States. Like I've received money from banks for clients. You have not been going to the right bank or the wrong person at the bank because it's not your branch manager, it's not your loan officer, it's usually a VP of economic development, community reinvestment, community development. Look into the chat for those titles. And no, it does not have to be your bank, but make sure it's a bank with like a great presence. Maybe they have a regional office or headquarters office, right? We're fortunate in Northeast Ohio. We have so many banks. One of our largest foundations in Ohio is one of our banks, Key Bank, PNC Bank, Citizens Bank, right? I'm giving you 3 hot leads: Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD banks. Research them, meet with them. You're going to need to, especially with banks, right? Because oftentimes they do not advertise their grants. So you have to meet with them. All right. Now, I said I had a bonus surprise for you, and I do, because I am here to help you, right? So there's a lot of money available for Black organizations and nonprofits. So what did I do to help on a continuous basis? I created a grant writing course so that you could not just write a lot of grants, but start winning grants, right? This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course. And yes, the most important part of this is that it includes my coaching, right? So this is what you get. It has been a proven step-by-step path to funding. You get the best grant research techniques. Now, the course is going to teach you how to write grants, right? But the coaching comes in. Let's say you set up that meeting. You come in, you ask me, what do I do? I'm going to tell you what to say, how to say it, what you listen for, what you bring to the meeting, what you show, right? The course teaches you how to write every part of that narrative, from your mission to your program, right? To your problem statement, to your impact statement. But then the coaching comes in, you ask me, right? How much should I be asking for? What should my budget be? Should I be asking for operating money or program project money, right? Now, what is unique about this course is that I've been hired to build grant applications over the past 16 years. I know what they ask you. I know the questions. And I've incorporated that into this course so that this is where you do the heavy lifting. This is where you do the legwork. I'm asking you questions about your organization. So you should be excited to answer, right? You finally get to put down in words what's been up in here for some of you, right? And so when you're done with my course and answering my questions, you have this beautiful grant template, in-depth grant template. You use that to start applying for grants. This is why it makes it so much faster, so much easier, because you're doing the work here, right? And then you're ready to apply for these grants. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Every lesson starts with a video because I have some visual learners, right? But you get the lessons, the tasks, you get planners, everything's digital, online. Go at your own pace. Nobody has to rush through this. Everybody's at a different point in their business. Go at your own pace. You get these silly quizzes, right, that are funny so that you remember the information, and you get actual grant examples. And every grant example I wrote, and every grant example won money. And I do something nobody else in the country is doing. I give you a list of 600 organizations that provide grants, 600 for-profits and nonprofits. And then I always laugh when I see this because I have a private Facebook group, and I'm telling you, like the young kids say, that Facebook group is lit because Let me tell you, the students in this Facebook group, they are absolutely remarkable. First of all, you want to know where there are grants? We list grants all the time. I mean, constantly in the Facebook group. The students list more grants than I do. Like the students are all like, when they find grants, they're literally coming into the Facebook group posting grants. And just last week, I kid you not, they created 8 different chats, right? Just so that they can even engage with each other even more. This is different, right? This is not about competition and, oh, I'm trying to get this grant so that you can't get. No, this is about connection and community. And that's what we need, right? That's what we need, right? And then to help you further, I give you an hour of group coaching, right? And that's not just 1 hour, that's every month. And one is coming up soon. And you come on that group coaching call and you ask your questions so that you can get clarity. But come into the Facebook group and ask any question you have, right? It's open all the time. And I'm in there quite a bit, but I also have grant writers and people who are CEOs and people who have doctorates in English. And it's just amazing. Come in, right? Come in and ask your questions. Now, this is not anywhere near what you're paying for the course, right? This is what the course is worth because I've had it audited 3 times. Your 12 modules, 35 lessons worth $3,549. Those videos are worth $600. The funding list, that has to be changed because that's worth almost $1,000 now because we keep adding to it. Your workbooks, planners, and grant trackers worth $350. Let's get to what you want to know. How much are you paying for this $5,000 course? I told you before, I've been in this business for 16 years. Like this literally is how I give back to the community. This is it. It is with this course that I know can help you. So I make it as literally as affordable as I possibly can, right? So the regular price is $997. It's usually discounted to $497 because I'm trying to keep it affordable. But you hopped on the webinar. People, first of all, are thrilled to pay $497. But you came on the webinar, letting me know that you're serious about it, right? So you get the additional 50% off. Yes, that is a real number, $247. One and done for everything. The course, the Facebook group, the group coaching call, the entire course. And when you get in it, you'll say, oh my gosh, like she was right. This is a $5,000 course because the weekend grant writing courses that you take at the university, they're $5,000, right? And you don't get the information, certainly forever. You don't have access to the professor. So it's $247, one payment. You must use that code. That actually should be OCT 17. And like Nancy, the correct code is being dropped into the link as we speak. If you want to make 2 payments, you can add a 2 onto the end of the code, OCT 17 and 2. So the code is OCT 17, like today's 17th, OCT 17N. But you want to make 2 payments, we try to help you, right? You can make one payment today, $137.50, and then one payment 30 days from now. So just put a 2 on the end of the code, right? So you'll let us know you need the 2 payments. And yes, you read the bottom line, right? The course never expires, right? So OCT 17N, one payment. You want 2 payments, OCT, and put a 2 on the end of it. I didn't even talk about the letter of inquiry, which right now is oftentimes being used like a gatekeeper that you have to complete, usually 1 or 2 pages. And sometimes foundations want you to complete the LOI before they even invite you to apply for the full application. So you need this information. It's self-paced. You absolutely positively write it off. So you're paying $247 for a $5,000 course that you are going to write off because it is an educational expense. It is a business expense. And yes, you get a certificate at the end. Now we're doing something special. First of all, you've got 3 days, so, right? You've got 3 days to get it. And so let me show you what we're doing for, did we skip that? Okay, let me show you what we're doing for the one payment. So if you want to make just one payment, right, the $247, you can hit $497, right? Because that's the regular price. I want to show you how you buy this. The link is in the chat. You will come to this page here. You see that $497, that's what everybody else is paying. But remember, you have a coupon code, the OCT, right? 17N like Nancy. This is one payment, right? You input that code and look to the right. It's taking out $250. All of a sudden, your payment is $247. Now, everybody look at this block here. That is a private VIP session with you and me, right? Private VIP session. Before we even talk about grants, I look at your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your target population, and your program or your organization or your product, right? I get you together. You leave with perfect clarity, right? And then we can look at some local and national grant opportunities. It's $495 because you get the session notes and you get the video. The only time it's discounted to $195 is if you buy it with the course. So you can add it to the $247. Now, this is something special we're doing for those who want to make the one payment and one payment only. You can use buy now, pay later, Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna, right? So all of these, which I think is incredible, offers 6 months, 4 months or 6 months, same as cash, right? No interest whatsoever. So literally you can actually spread out your $247 payment, or if you add the $195, you can spread out those payments, right? This is amazing, but you're getting everything now as soon as you pay. If you want to spread it out even further over 12 payments, Affirm will let you do that. They do add some interest, right? But this is how I'm trying to help everybody, right? Now, if you don't want to make the one payment and you want to make the 2 payments through us, you can. Now you're hitting the 2-month payment plan. It's 2 times $275 because that's what everybody else pays. But remember, you have a coupon. You input your coupon, right? OCT17N, put a 2 on the end of it. And now you're paying $137.50 today, and then the same amount 30 days from now. Yes, you can add on the $195. And guess what? I don't drip my course. Even if you only pay the $137.50 now, you get access to everything. The whole course, the Facebook group, the group coaching call. People know that I have services that are, I don't know, probably 10, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times this amount. This is what I do for you because I know you're going to be helped by the course, right? I want everybody to look at Whitney. Whitney never thought she would get any grant money, right? Whitney did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She's a student. She started local. She got $40,000 from the Southern Power Fund. Then she went national. She got $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. Whitney told me earlier this year, Linda, she said $200,000 over that. $200,000 for a $247 investment. She says, I can now be a salaried employee of my business, right? Whitney looks like us, right? Oh, and for you for-profits, LLCs, $20,000 grant winner, Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage. They have a massage company. Miss Linda Peavy, this is Michelle Richardson and Annette Thompson. We wanted to share our wonderful, fabulous news. Our small business was awarded a $20,000 grant. We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business, life-changing. Emily last week won the Fast Break grant, another business, $10,000 grant, and she won $500 worth of LegalZoom products, right? Christina is in education. May I share that I'm so grateful for Linda? I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for her grant writing course. So she was scared too. It's okay to be scared. You've got to do it scared. The depth of information provided is unmatched from my experience. I won my very first grant to grow my business, and I'm so grateful. She got $10,000. I get that question all the time. Linda, if I've never won any grants before, can I win grants? Absolutely. Natalie came full circle. Natalie is a grant writer now. She took the course. The course teaches you so well how to write grants that she became a grant writer, won a $50,000 grant for her client, a church. Are you entering any pitch competitions? The course is great. April called me and said, Linda, I'm ready. You taught me how to tell my story. South Side of Chicago pitch competition. Beat out 100 competitors, came in second place, walked away with $9,000. And she, as we speak, is a finalist for a $1 million grant. All right. It doesn't take long. Cornisha got that $750 Walmart grant, right? Very difficult to, very difficult to get grants from Walmart. I can't even say it. It is very difficult to get grants from Walmart. But she took the one-on-one. I remember Carnisha. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. People, this is real. This is real money we're talking about, okay? Kimberly sent this to me in late May. She got 4 sponsorships since April. 4. When we get to the Q&A, ask me the difference between a sponsorship and a grant. You will want to know. And this is something I want you to seriously think about, because a lot of you have been trying to get this done for a long time. You've been trying to set up your business or your nonprofit. I hear from people who, I kid you not, they've had a nonprofit for 10 years, never got a dime, now getting grant funding, right? I want you to think about this quote that I saw. Yes, you will have to pay. You want to get grant money, you will have to pay. It will be either in time and money and connections and more. The least expensive thing to pay is money. And especially at $247, how much time have you spent trying to get this done, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, right? This can be a maze if you don't know how to navigate it. And that's why I offer a community for a very small amount of money. I offer a community to you. It's not just a grant writing course. Most people I know friends that have $2,000 grant writing courses that you don't get what I get, and you certainly get no interaction with them. I'm here to help you through this so that you can get grant money. All right. All right. We are done. We are done. It is Q&A time. It is Q&A time. So before we do Q&A, before you go anywhere, please do one thing for me. I want you right now to put into this chat, I am ready to get grant money. I believe in manifesting things. I believe in writing things down. There's so many of you, this has been in you for a long time. So I want you to write it down. I want you to get it out of your system, right? Because I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge sports fan. It's literally the 4th quarter of the season, right? And it's the 4th quarter of the calendar year. It's go time. It's the middle of October. It's go time. Beverly, Ulazania, Tanya, I'm ready to get grant money. Brian, right? Tatanese, Todd, Jackie. Jackie says, I've been ready to get grant money. I know, because I hear from you. I know you're tired of using your own money and being told just flat out misinformation, right? I spend so much of my time just trying to counter misinformation that's available, right? I did a great webinar yesterday for Goldman Sachs, right? Fantastic, but so much misinformation, even just trying to let people know, yes, this money is available for small businesses as well as nonprofits. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. Todd, I'm ready to get grant money. Jackie, Keisha, Christian, Dolores, Tanya. Yes. Tanya is selling popcorn to raise money. Popcorn to raise money. Like, let me help you, people. Let me help you. I've been doing this for a long time. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but I want you to come into a safe space, because there are scammers out there. I have to tell you a quick story, then I'm going to the Q&A. One of my students wanted to hire a grant writer. That's fine. Let me help you. Let me give you some advice. Somebody told her, if you give me $250, I'm going to write all these grants for you. And she did. And then they tried to get her social security number, her bank routing number, her bank account number. She came into the Facebook group and wrote a post that said, Linda, I don't feel comfortable. I think something's wrong here. I think I might have been scammed. And let me tell you, I didn't even get to the post first. The other students in this Facebook group converged on that post and said, let us research this company for you. And of course, they were scammers, but that's the community that I have. You no longer have to do this by yourself or do it alone and not know if you're doing it correctly, right? Because you will have the help. You have, of course, come into the Facebook group for help, come on the group coaching calls. And in the Facebook group, oh my gosh, just scroll through. So many grants, all of the videos from the past coaching sessions are there. And I'm sure more than likely your questions are being answered just through those group coaching sessions that happened. But you can't ask enough questions in the Facebook group, okay? Yes, you're absolutely right. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. October 20th is Sunday. So Sunday is your last day. October 20th, Sunday is your last day. All right, you got 3 days, 3 days, 3 days to get it. All right. I am going to the Q&A. That's right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this, Terry. All right. I saw some questions and some comments. So I'm starting in the webinar chat. Let's see. I have an architectural drafting business and a marketing consulting business. Does the 501c3 expire? Yes. It has to be renewed periodically. Let's see. I need less than $1 million for a soccer museum project. So if you're seeking that kind of money, just make sure you have additional resources. Make sure you have a phenomenal plan. Make sure you have partners, because that's a significant amount of money. And when you're asking for that kind of money, be ready to show that you can handle it, because we have to be realistic. Is an organization going to give you $1 million grant if you never handled a $5,000 grant? So this is where partners are critical to come in, right? So just keep that in mind. And so let me say this to all of you right now. It's not a matter of whether or not there are grants for you. So you don't have to ask me questions. Is there a grant for me? I have a children's book. I'm a truck driver. It does not matter what industry you're in. There's grant money for you. It's about how do you research and find it. And that's what the course is about, right? I did a presentation for an authors group in Facebook, and I had to research. So yes, there are grants for authors. Absolutely. Yes. If you are a truck driver, right, go to your industry. So sometimes it's not even about what you do. If you're a Black-owned organization, apply for the Black-owned grants and then talk about what you do. Sometimes it is industry-based, right? So all of you need to know that you can go to your industry and ask for grants. You're in real estate associations give grants, right? You're in the beauty industry, Shea Moisture, L'Oreal, they provide grants. Go to your industry, right? So again, it's not a matter of whether or not there's a grant for you. It's about how, if you're doing something legal, if it's legal, you research and you find the opportunity. If Tranquility had researched, if Tranquility Company had put into a Google search grants for massage companies, do you think any grants would have come up? No. But they're a woman-owned business, actually, right? And they have a small business. So they were able to seek grants for small businesses, right? For women-owned businesses. So sometimes it matters less what you do. Sometimes it matters everything what you do if you're going to your industry. So know that the grants are available. It's about how you research and find where they are. And that's where the course helps. All right. Is having a capability statement a good thing to have for a grant? You want to incorporate it into the grant. Yes. So the capability statements become even more important if you are seeking contracts or if you are bidding, right, for contracts. And so that's separate. So if any of you are wanting to receive contracts because you're a for-profit business, you're a small business, and you're seeking contracts, that's where you need your certifications, your WBE, your Women Business Enterprise, your MBE, your Minority Business Enterprise, your VOBE, your Veteran-Owned Business Enterprise. If you're seeking to do business with the government or any corporation where you're seeking a bid for a contract, that's where that capability statement is going to really be helpful, right? And I am giving a training actually on Halloween, like at noon, where we will be talking about how you get contracts as a Black-owned or a woman-owned business. I'm working with my partner. She has secured for her clients $30 million in contracts, right? And I have secured, of course, $17 million through proposals. So I'm going to just drop that. If anybody is interested in attending, I'm going to drop that link into the chat. So this is for anybody interested in learning how do you get contracts. All right. All right. Let me go back up because I want to make sure I'm getting to all of the questions. Yes, try to get a good website. It doesn't, websites do not have to be expensive, right? If you buy the course, you come into the Facebook group, you will see one of the admins is my web designer. She's been in designing development for websites for over 25 years. I'm sure she would be able to help you. Someone said their target population is maternal health. That is huge, right? Niche down. Who are you helping? That's a huge category. Who are you helping specifically? Are you a doula? Are you specifically dealing with health equities for Black women, right? Because we know that there, unfortunately, the death rate of babies born to Black women is significantly higher than our white counterparts, right? Oh, and Whitney, that's her company. That's what she does. She's in that maternal space when it comes to specifically helping Black women, right? To make sure that they have healthy babies. That Whitney that won the $200,000, that's exactly what she does. All right. Autism support services for autistic people and their caregivers. That's specific. That's good. Single mothers. What does that mean? How are you helping single mothers? How are you helping them? Right? That's not niche enough. How are you helping? You could be helping single mothers with any and everything. So you've got to niche down. Children, we own a competitive cheer and gymnastics team. Very specific, right? So just think about the age range. You didn't put the age range. I have a business plan and a booklet on the project's FAQs. That's a good start. Everybody will get a copy of the replay tonight. All right, let's see. Everybody will get a copy. Yes, you'll get the copy of the replay tonight. And make sure you write it off. Write the course off. It's tax deductible. It's tax deductible. All right. It is tax deductible. Okay. Let's see. There's a way to get money from the banks. Yes. You have to meet with them. You have to meet with them, absolutely. Can one write for operating and program project dollars in one application? No. 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 Because if you find a grant that is geared towards your operating cost, you can include your program project costs. Remember, you can include anything in an operating support grant, right? You can include whatever you want. So if you are completing a general operating support grant, you can use it for your administrative cost, but you can also use it for your program project cost. So you don't have to do two. How long do we have before the code expires? Sunday. Thank you, Todd. Sunday, October 20th. I need help. I need help to walk through grammar to get one. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're asking. Could you just rephrase that? Thank you, Todd. Jackie says I've been ready. I hear from people all the time. I know you're tired of using your own money. There is a way. There is a way. But you want to be able to do it right. Yes, I'm sorry. I made that correction. It's definitely Sunday, October 20th. Yes, the 501c3s expire. Can you get it for state contracts as well? Absolutely. That's what I talked about, right? So again, if you're looking to get contracts, any government contract, city, county, state, or federal, you need your certification, right? Your MBE, your WBE, or your VOB. Let me make something super clear, everybody. The grants that we've been talking about, like the organizational, the corporate foundation grants, the organizational foundation grants, the community foundation grants, the private foundation grants, you don't need certifications for those grants. You do not need certifications, right? If it says that it's giving money to a Black-owned organization, it simply means that your organization needs to be 51% or more owned by a Black person. It's as simple as that, right? If you are applying for a grant that says it's for a woman-owned business, you just need to make sure your business is 51% or more owned by a woman. Typically, it's just a question that you answer, right? But if you are going after contracts, right, that's where you need the certifications, okay? So first of all, needing the grants ASAP, no, it's not going to work. This is not an ASAP industry. This is not an ASAP industry. Remember I said this is a marathon, this is not a sprint, right? So typically it's a 3-month process before you submit the grant application and get the grant money if you are approved, right? Now, there are a couple of ways that sometimes you can get money sooner. Let's say you're submitting your application very close to the deadline, right? Then it may take less time because you're submitting the application close to the deadline. Oftentimes in these foundations, the decisions are made by their board of directors, which meet 3, 4, 5 times a year. So you're waiting until the board meets to make the to make the decision about the grant. And if you submit that grant close to a time when their board of directors are meeting, like close to a date, then you'll probably hear back sooner, right? And it's different for every organization. Some organizations only accept grants once a year. Some accept grants on a rolling application, right? So if you ever hear the word rolling application, that means you can apply at any time. You can submit that application at any time throughout the year. And just so you know, there are organizations that do not like the fact that we're getting money. I don't know if you've heard of this, but organizations are being sued because they're trying to give Black organizations money. And I'm trying to get you in a position where you can get this money, that other organizations are being sued trying to give it to you. Hello Alice, Fearless Fund, Progressive, sued because they're trying to give grant money to Black organizations, right? So this is your opportunity to place yourself in a better position to actually get it. And you know, it's always important when you stay until the end, isn't it? For those of you who have stayed until the end with me, I have a surprise for you, an extra surprise. First of all, this is for everybody. When you go to grant search portals like Grant Watch, I want you to put in BIPOC. Grant Watch is $20 a week. Put in BIPOC, that's Black, Indigenous, People of Color. That will give you a list of grants that are tailored and geared right towards that market, us, Black, Indigenous, People of Color, right? So that's one clue. But secondly, I have a list, a cultivated list of 300 grants that are geared towards that BIPOC population, Black, Indigenous, People of Color, us, right? You will get this grant list free if you buy the course today. Now, this is in addition to the 600 grants you get when you get into the portal, when you get into the grant portal, the grant writing course. This is in addition to that, right? List of 300 grants geared towards Black organizations. You will get that free if you buy the course today. All right, other questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. If I change my business name, does the 501c3 change? That is definitely a question for the IRS. The organizational budget requires less than that and just $150,000. Is that for your museum? Is that what you're asking for? You need $150,000 for the museum. The organizational budget requires less than that. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, great question, Tanya. When you buy the course and you want the one-on-one, I always let you decide that because everybody is different. Some people want to meet with me right away. Right? One gentleman got a $2 million grant chooses to remain anonymous. He said, Linda, I'm not touching this money until we meet. And that's fine. So I can set up the meeting with you when it's convenient for both of us. If you want to meet right away, that's fine. We'll look at my calendar. Some people want to wait until they get into the course to start applying, right? For the grants or start going through the modules. They want to wait. I leave that totally up to you. So when you're ready, you send me an email. Send me an email. And Melissa, if you could please drop my email address into the chat. Everybody, please put this email address on your safe senders list, on your email, in your email, right? Senders list, because you're getting the replay from this email and I just don't want it going to your spam. But send me an email. When you buy the course, you let me know when you are ready to meet. And then we will set up that meeting. All right. Is there a startup organization for people who are starting from the beginning? Absolutely, there are. I'm going to put into the chat for you. It's called SCORE. So SCORE is funded by the SBA, by the Small Business Administration, and they will help you get started. It's free. And SCORE consists of mentors who are retired executives, and they help take you through the process. All right. So all of you, if you're just starting, I recommend you go through SCORE. Totally free. Totally free. All right. Let's see. So yeah. So if you want to get certified, please attend that training that I'm doing on Halloween at noon. Please. You want to hear from Bethany. Bethany has her clients gotten them $30 million in contracts. You want to attend that training. I need some funds for our ministry, but we are a small church and we give service to the community. We need help getting grants. We are 501c3. Well, yes. So there are grants for churches. Walmart gives grants to churches. Go to your local community foundation. This is for everybody. Google local community foundation. I think I mentioned this earlier. Google local community foundation and meet with them. Many local community foundations give grants. To churches. I know the one in my community does. The Cleveland Foundation is actually the oldest and the largest community foundation in the country. They give grants to churches, right? Also, based on what your program is, I'm going to drop, this is for Sheila, the Calvin Institute of Worship grant. They are being funded by the Lilly Foundation and they're providing grants for worship. But yes, Walmart, meet with the manager at Walmart. Whatever you do, do not just go online and just apply. I think their application is, I'm not kidding, 4 questions. I think their application is 4 questions. You have to meet with the manager of your Walmart and create that relationship. And then you apply. All right, let's see. Okay. That's okay. That's okay if you're starting from the gutter. At least you're starting. In the 16 years I've been in this business, do you know how many organizations I've spoken to where they wanted to start? They wanted to start a for-profit. They wanted to start a nonprofit. They're not even where you are. At least you are moving forward. You hopped on the webinar. Whatever you do, don't stop. I would love to be your coach. This is just a small amount of money that you can invest in yourself to get you light years away where you've been, right? And you want to see more testimonials, please come to the Facebook group. There are so many in there, right? But whatever you do, please don't sit on this. People, don't let this be another webinar that you've attended and you don't do anything with the information. There's too much money available for us. I tell this story all the time. Last fall, Progressive Insurance, Progressive, created a grant that was only for Black-owned businesses. It was a $25,000 grant. They gave multiple $25,000 grants. The Black business had to buy a car. Like, I've never heard of this stuff in the 16 years I've been in this business. Never heard of this stuff. The Black business had to buy a car with the $25,000 grant. They have to be using a car within the course of their work. That was the grant. $25,000 for Black businesses to buy a car, a vehicle. This is real. Like, this is real. All right. My soccer museum project aims at deepening the understanding of soccer development. That's great because I want to mention that really quickly. So this person is developing a soccer museum project, but it's not just a project. And this is where you place yourself in a better position to get grant money. What extra are you adding? What extra are you doing? Right? This person is wanting to build a soccer museum project to deepen the understanding of soccer development, right? So it's not just a museum where you go in and you look at like soccer, right, elements or equipment. He's doing something more with it. I have a young lady who is a seamstress. She has a design company. She's a designer. She creates clothes for homeless women and clothes for women in domestic violence shelters. So she's not getting money just because she's a seamstress or she has a design firm. She's doing something else with it, right? So that it's those kinds of additional, right, resources that you are providing to your community that will help place you in a better position. All right, let's see. Terry, then go to another one. Go to another one. Go to another one. All right. Yes, Walmart gives grants to nonprofits and for-profits. So I have a grant writer who I often recommend, but you have to be prepared to work with the grant writers that I know. The grant writers I know are professional grant writers. They've won millions of dollars like me. Professional grant writers work in a particular way. We do not work on commission. That's actually illegal in most states. You do not pay us whether or not you don't pay us based on whether or not you get the grant. We're paid up front, right? You don't pay us whether or not you get the grant, right? We are to be paid for our services, right? You cannot pay a grant writer out of the grant proceeds because you cannot expend your grant money on services that occurred before you got the award letter, right? So none of those things are true. So if you are prepared to work with a professional grant writer that I recommend, they provide fees based on their level of experience, right? And they're not inexpensive. They're nowhere near inexpensive. And yes, you have to pay them up front. So keep that in mind. I would recommend I would recommend going to Grant Watch. I'm going to drop this in here because from what I understand, Grant Watch also writes grants, grantwatch.com. You can get a grant writer through grantwatch.com. It's always best to try to go to a legitimate agency to try to get grants. All right. I believe we're done. I'm going to go back over to the Q&A really quickly just to make sure. All right. Okay, answer that question about, oh, the course will absolutely help you if you're in ministry. It doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter if you have a church. Just because you have a church, you should be doing something with the church. It's got to be about more than the pastor getting in the pulpit and preaching to the audience, right? What are you doing? You have a 501c3 for a reason. How are you serving the community, right? Other than providing worship, because all churches provide worship, right? What are you doing extra? Do you have an outreach program? Are you providing training in your church where people can come and learn about computers or how to get on Word and work with the Office suite, right? Do you have a homeless ministry? Do you have a daycare center, right, in your church? What are you doing to help serve the community so that you can ask for grant money that would help in whatever that program or project is? So just because you're a church doesn't mean that you don't answer all of the questions in the course, because you should have a program or a project just like any other organization, for which you are asking money for. And maybe it's not a program. Maybe you are trying to renovate your church. Maybe you're a historical church, right? And you're trying to put in bathrooms because you want to be ADA compliant, right? Or you need to finally get an elevator, right? Because you want to be ADA compliant, right? So it has to be some type of program or project, right? Beyond you're just providing worship every Sunday. And there's actually a worship grant in that Calvin Institute for churches that want to do something to expand their worship, right? Maybe you're thinking about having worship outside of the church at different community centers. All right. I want to start a nonprofit with my for-profit where I donate my children's books to children who are admitted to hospitals. Excellent. And to St. Jude. I believe this will give them a little comfort in reading and learning while healing. Excellent. Excellent. So absolutely, absolutely. You can be seeking grant funding. Your target population is children. You are in the area of literacy, right? Literacy. And so just let me say, Dollar General has one of the best literacy grant programs, I think, in the country. Dollar General, right? The little corner discount store, they have one of the best literacy grant programs geared towards kids and children and youth in the country. So you might want to check them out. All right. But that's what I mean when I say, what extra are you doing? Right? What extra are you doing? All right. Okay. We are done. That was the Q&A. So keep in mind, if you buy the course today, you will get that additional list of 300 organizations that provide grants that are geared towards, right? BIPOC. BIPOC. All right. But first we have to give Amy some love because Amy bought the course. So I want to see some clapping of hands. I want to see some hearts because Amy, you are on your way. I will see you in the Facebook group. So anybody who buys the course, you go over to the Facebook group. First of all, you get 3 emails. One email will be your link to create your username and password because you get into the course right away. Then come over to the Facebook group. For everybody that comes to the Facebook group, I always ask you a question. Whatever you do, answer it because I give you individual help right then and there, right? So answer the question and that way I can give you help right away. Other than that, you come to the Facebook group with your questions, right? And you get the help that you need. All right. So hopefully I will see you in the Facebook group between now and Sunday. You've got 3 days, right? To get the discount, to get the additional 50% discount. And hopefully I will see you over there. And I want to thank all of you for hopping on because I know you could have been somewhere else at noon. You decided to spend this time with me. I appreciate it. I hope this was helpful for you, but do something for you. Like do something to keep moving forward, right? I know there's a lot of frustration out there when it comes to grants. So come into a safe space where you can be helped. All right. So thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and the company LaPav Consulting. And hopefully I will see you soon. And tonight, let me put in the link to the 7 o'clock live session, just in case you know anyone who wants to hop on. It's the same information. And they can register here. All right. And if you want to take it again, you can take it again. It's up to you. Some people do. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you over the course of the next 3 days so that you can move your organization forward. All right. Thank you so much. I want you to have a safe and a blessed week and weekend. And you have to know, I think all of what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal because again, there's so many organizations, they have an idea and they have not even allowed themselves to get where you are. So I want you to give yourselves truly a round of applause. Just give yourself, right? Clap, give yourself a pat on the back because you showed up. You showed up. And that's why I give you this course at this ridiculously low price because this is my gift. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.